today. Other interesting business news, you have the BMW M CEO doesn't like stick shifts, which is like the CEO of PepsiCo or Coca-Cola not liking high fructose corn syrup. What? That is your business. Now, specifically when it comes to the BMW M series, that's their performance. Think of General Motors. Well, back when General Motors had performance, they had the SS trim level for some of their vehicles. I mean, the M series is supposed to be the fun business fact, the longest ever advertisement or mantra for automotive community or automotive business is BMW. It eludes me at the moment the actual advertising agency that came up with it, but the best, most long-running advertisement ever when it comes to automotive is BMW's. It is the, quote, ultimate driving machine. And for decades, they truly meant that. They made some of the most fantastic vehicles with 3 pedals you could possibly imagine. And truth be told, I have a couple of friends who have BMWs, and I mean, they're a blast to drive. They have some exceptional engineering. It's still, mostly controlled by the Quant family. So, and obviously, German engineering. And yet, they have someone in charge of their performance division, their enthusiast division, who doesn't like manuals. And it's even more pathetic. The justification or his quote unquote logic of why he's not a fan of manuals, it defies all logic, and it shows. I don't know if he doesn't know his customers. I don't know if he's never driven a vehicle, but let's go to this quick article here. Now again, it says BMW M CEO, seems totally overman transmission, and he says, what is this? 3 pedals make it slower, less efficient sport cars, as M boss Frank Van Meel would like to remind us. So he's saying manual transmissions are bad because it's not as fast. It's a slower driving experience. It's not as fast as an auto gearbox, which is the most rudimentary, mentally vacuous argument I have heard in almost a decade or more. Because again, I believe it was 86? The automatic transmission has been faster than the manual transmission for decades. I mean, Porsche was the first company to really advertise this, because at the time, Porsche thought, hey, our brand is all about fast, we want to make the fastest vehicles. So there was a time, a couple decades ago, where Porsche came out with a new car, new 911, I forget what model it is, they got millions of the 911 series, but nevertheless, they came out and they advertised, hey, this is the fastest, we're not going to have a stick shift anymore because we think our customers want the fastest vehicles, and this technology is faster than a manual. The customers were so irate that, to Porsche's credit, they listened to their customers, and to this day, Porsche credits North America consumer demand as one of the top reasons they continually make vehicles with 3 pedals. They listen to their customers. Everyone knows the fastest car on the planet is going to be some boring EV with a supercomputer bolted in there. Well, nowadays, not even a supercomputer, just kind of rudimentary technology. But nevertheless, the fastest is going to be a computer. It's been that way for quite some time. And yet, the people, when I go to the track, more than half the classes always has a stick shift. Yes, it's not as fast. It's not Formula 1 technology anymore. And yet, it's so much more fun. And that's why you're buying these vehicles. It's for fun. There are a couple of people, and again, that's why a lot of these companies have the option. There are very few companies that actually have exclusive stick shifts. Although one of those awesome companies is also known as Honda, with the Honda Civic Si only comes, and the Honda Civic Type R only comes with 3 pedals. I kind of think all true cars should come with as default. But granted, that's just me. So it gets even more ridiculous. So the CEO of, again, what is supposed to be BMW's performance brand, performance division, the best trim level for these vehicles if you want to have fun. And he says, it is even more hilarious, he says, the manual transmission is slower and results in higher fuel consumption and sometimes has a lower top speed. So the manual is actually, from an engineering standpoint, makes no real sense anymore, unquote. It's almost unfathomable how mentally vacuous this man is. He's saying, well, we don't want to have a sports car with a manual transmission because it's not as fuel efficient. I don't know anyone who buys a sports car who gives a damn about fuel efficiency. You could argue perhaps entry-level sporty cars. Like, personally, I do appreciate that if I'm behind my sales quota or times are tough, if I drive my car 54 miles per hour, it'll get 54 miles per gallon on the highway. The good old Honda Civic Si Gen 10. That's an anomaly. It's not. It's a sporty car and I love it, but it's not a true dedicated sports car platform. No one looking at that gives a damn about fuel consumption. They're paying a premium for a driving experience. They want to have that fun, that unique interaction in the vehicle. I mean, going around a corner and downshifting, you can't beat that feeling, and I highly recommend it if it is in your purview, or if you can, go and try that experience as soon as possible. Either buying one of the few remaining stick shifts on the market, or having a friend ask them, "Can you teach me how to drive a stick shift?" I mean, again, I guarantee you will have a blast. Hashtag not guaranteed, but realistically, I've never not smiled driving a stick shift. So this CEO is saying, "Oh yeah, it's not as fuel efficient, and also it's not as fast. So we really just have it for like a heritage." So that's what he was saying. And yet, you look at their competitors. Some of them have the highest take rates. You have the Cadillac CTS4 and CTS5 V Blackwing series. They had a 50% take rate for the stick shift version of the vehicle. And I got to drive the Cadillac the CT4V Blackwing, 2023 or 22 model year, because my buddy's got one. That was one of the most fun vehicles I've ever experienced. And truth be told, I think it's the best thing General Motors has done in 10 plus years. Not saying much, but nevertheless, a fantastic vehicle. I knew it wasn't as fast as a Tesla. That's no longer the point. It's about how much fun you can have. And, I mean, now he's saying, oh yeah, Van Diesel also said that consumers want manuals simply to prove that they can ride the beast, which is an odd statement considering the brand that was defined the stick shift. Then he's also noted that, well, it is a little bit difficult, to get to the suppliers, which, again, if you're a multi-billion-dollar investment company, you can just make your own clutches if you're worrying about replacing clutches. I mean, truth be told, Porsche with Carrera GT, I can't help but think they're probably making a pretty good profit. A clutch for that is about $30,000. Granted, it's $1 million supercar these days, and it's a very high collectible. But again, Porsche taking care of their customers long term. Which, again, I'm not paid by Porsche. I don't even own one. I mean, I hope to aspire to own one someday. And yet, there's very few companies taking care of folks in that regard. Now, I can't help but think the comments are probably going to emulate what I'm saying, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe everyone's saying, oh yeah, the great, brilliant CEO, he'll surely make this a great performance brand. It'll be faster than a Tesla. That's what people want, right? I mean, probably not, but let's go ahead and dive on in. One of the first comments comes from Crudler saying, quote, "Speed and efficiency does not a sports car make, but give where BMW has gone over the last 20 years, it seems obvious that the people in charge have no idea what does. A sports car prioritizes fun. Chasing performance figures are 100% pointless anywhere, but for a highly skilled driver on a track, it simply shows that BMW and others are aware that it is a lot more profitable to make expensive prosthetics personalities than make fun to drive cars." Unquote. Getting 20 likes. Let's see here. You also have Harlan McCarthy saying, quote, "It may technically be slower, but the third pedal always adds a fun factor," unquote. 110% and getting 17 likes. Ron Hansen says, quote, "BMW buyers are not paid racing professionals and therefore not concerned about shaving seconds off lap times, but instead they are enthusiasts looking for a connection with their vehicle, and there for the driving experience. The ultimate driving machine should give the ultimate driving experience." Unquote. Getting 11 likes. Let's see here. You have Prodite saying, quote, "See, this is the problem with things run by only engineers. They chase the numbers and look at graphs. Life is lived outside of that with lots of room for feeling and nuance, and those are not input factors in CAD, which is why they are often missed." Unquote. Getting 11 likes. So let's see. Kenneth Williams saying, "I am tired of these companies only concerned about streamlining processes. I bought my G80 because it is basically the only current sports sedan in a manual. In fact, I bought it a year early due to the rumors of discontinuation. Here's the point. I will never willingly buy an automatic sports car." Unquote. Getting 9 likes, which I concur. I've only ever owned stick-shift vehicles. I don't care if I have to take a shovel and dig into the ground to get that last drop of oil, if that's what it takes to drive a stick-shift when I'm in my 90s, or however long I do live. 3 pedals for life. So it'll be interesting to see, I mean, do they vote? Is there enough pushback where they actually vote this president out for his, I don't want to say he's blind, but maybe his visual ineptitudes for saying, oh yeah, we really want to focus on fuel economy and the top speed and those little factors for a sports car. I mean, personally, yeah, I don't think so. But let me know what your thoughts are. As always, I'd be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to tune in. Again, we're trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of the month, so if you could click that button, I would greatly appreciate it. Also, leaving a thumbs up, thumbs down, or comment is a great way to give me some additional feedback, letting me know how I can make the show better and better. Lastly, don't forget to take the time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe, fight the good fight,